I'll land off the top. I guess we'll just hit a cityscape leveler here. So everything will be fine. Oh my god, I hit the nuts. Opponent, I would like to invoke to spare you and cast my cityscape leveler. Would you like to play the game for any longer? It's Holly. Have you played it? Have you seen it? Pretty much the show out card in March of the Machine. And our synergy strategy today, 4-color ramp was really good. 5-color world tour ramp was really good. And we're going to kind of apply that into a basically mono red style deck. It's Gruul, but red is kind of the featured color here. And ramp into playing a Tully to hit our cityscape levelers and battalions. Got a little action of Koth, invasion of Kaldheim in here, and a couple other battles as well in terms of invasion of whatever that's called, the 2-drop one. Pretty short intro here. We do a deep dive kind of into the deck at the end of the video if you want to check that out. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and get into the games. They were pretty fun today, and this deck has been a blast to play in a stale standard format so far, and just bullies Rakdos, so that's sweet. Maul? I think they mauled. I missed it. I looked away. We're going to keep this. We have kind of a cycle here, along with making a treasure to get the Stomper down, which will then connect us to our land, and hopefully we hit blue-black. Either Grixis, some form of control, pretty much. So Atali, this discard, it is discard. We're gonna go ahead and do Koth for now. I want to know more information that if we're playing against a Reanimator deck, I'm not just putting an Atali in there for them to bring out with the Cruelty of Gix. This treasure is going to allow us to play our Stomper and connector pieces. Then if we hit a land, which this could be a make disappear, we'll fire this off. It sticks. Mountain, forest. Our hand is mountain heavy, but we'll play an invasion of Zendikar next turn, and it'll be fine. Stomper can attack it. There's the Grixis. There's the Fable. Oh golly gee whiz. The Fable has struck in again. I will grab. Dude, this UI, like, not wanting to grab and land is so upsetting. Didn't hit. Didn't hit a land. But now we have enough to play our Atali. And we have 2 of them. We're fine. No discard of Atraxa there, so I'm a little less worried. I think we can eventually scale over the top, but Invoke Despair is pretty good. Second Fable. Everybody's favorite Magic the Gathering card. Another Koth. What if I slam an Atali? A lot of hits. Fire being one of them, Surge being another one, I guess. This one, submit 0. This one on this one. I can do the Cityscape Leveler because I can always get it back. We hit a mountain, which is huge. Now we can hit this down. Flip out and get even wider here. It also gives us a mana for the Spite. Volcanic Spite, that is. Just gonna pick up any unnecessary thing that we need. What happens? I think Chandra would have been good for them. They could have cleaned up the Stomper and the Skyclave at the same time. We can clean up this board. We're gonna exile their creature. We have none. What's the plan? Go for the throat, maybe? Blood Tithe Harvester. Okay. Fine. No mana available. Passing. No stops. What do we want to pick up here? We kind of want to pick up this Reflection for sure. Does 3 damage to all, so let's go ahead. Let's pick up the reflection for sure in case our game plan changes. Do I want to put a card on the bottom? No, I do not. My cards are fine. Brotherhood End is even more fine. So we'll do this and then set up our Koth. Let's make sure we don't tap like an idiot. We have to Koth first. No, we do not. 3 damage to each creature, each planeswalker. We do that first, obviously, so we don't hit our Koth. We can hit this and loot if we want, but I think just slamming face is the place. Then we set up our Koth for the late game finish. We dig, we grab mountain. And we play mountain. Very nice. Opponent. You're up. Figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna save you all the trouble. The reason we find ourselves here because our opponent got upset and roped out. My opponent goes first. Our hand is like keepable, I suppose. Oh, we find land. It's probably not bidding, but tucking onto the bottom of the cityscape leveler, I would imagine if it comes down to it. We'll play another mountain. Actos it is. Blood Time Harvester following after. Good crew here, which I imagine they're going to. Is a thing they can do, I suppose. Go ahead and fire this off. Remove the Blood Type Harvester. What are we going to put on bottom? Is Invasion the put? Kind of keep these big threats for later, especially when we have Invasion. Brotherhood End's also good. We can remove all their artifacts they play. Why we kind of wait to set up our Invasion here. I think that's the move. Get to remove their blood token. They might cycle it here. We get to get this Bank Buster and the blood token if they don't want to remove anything in their hand. So if they get a bad draw, they can't have that option later. If this is an Atraxa deck, it minimizes their opportunity to put Atraxa into the graveyard if they don't currently have one. Graveyard Trespasser, a good follow-up. One of the reasons kind of why we wanted to fire that off there, because playing Trespasser, you're eating Blood Type Harvester in the graveyard of theirs, and then crewing up Bankbuster and hitting us for 4 again is not good. For us, of course. We have land, invasion into a Tolly, into Cityscape Leveler, hopefully. Just one time, grab that mountain. Kind of got to keep the mountain count high. Probably should have went ahead and grabbed another mountain, especially with the forest here. They eat that Blood Type Harvester. They've eaten the Trespasser and Harvester here. Second Harvester. You play Atraxa, opponent? Can I Atali you? Is this a possibility? What are our hits? Cut down, Inspire. I am down to do both of these. Cut down here, and we will Inspire here. Am I sure? Of course I'm sure. What would I like to discard? Is it Stomper? It feels like Stomper, but because I don't really want to bend the Cityscape Leveler, because if they play another Trespasser, they can always eat it. We'll decline here as well, especially when we have another Atali to play after this. Probably gonna get hit with a Go for the Throat, which is fine. Like, not fine, like that sucks, but it's fine. Opponent, if you must. But that tells me the other card in your hands Go for the Throat. If this doesn't get removed, that's just unacceptable. Hey, it's Shelly. Please, sir. Can I have some more Shelly? Attack. I think I just go their fate. Actually, I hit this Invasion because then I can play a Cityscape Leveler to remove the Shieldred. Yes, sir. This has haste. So we cast this, and I target this to be removed. They weren't going to block anyway. If they would have blocked, this doesn't happen. But they still lose their Atali, or their Atali. They still lose their Shieldred, and I gain a second Atali. Let's take this game down. The Dive Harvester, I would like to say, is not going to get it done. I meant to go for the throw earlier, so I'm definitely going to play this next turn careful. I could just flip the Atali, but I don't think I should. Good time. Like, I could do this here, which takes my entire turn, and then they could blow this up and block this, I guess. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to attacks and blow up their Blood Tide Harvester. I guess they wouldn't get to block the Cityscape Leveler, the Blood Tide Harvester, but take 12. Here they're taking a lot more than 12. This is all based on the fact that they bent this go for the throat earlier and apparently just don't care. Activate this. Do it like that. Oh no, I'm one short. Activate. Activate. Every time that option comes up, I feel like it's just available. That worked. Okay, I missed lethal, I guess. But this now has indestructible, so I don't really care what they do. I'm at 7. Invoke Despair would almost get it done. I assume that's what their hands just plunked on. Invoke Despairs. I go first. Brotherhood in Stomper. We have like the combo into a Taller. Yeah, this is about what we want. We just need to find one land along the way. Let's just play another mountain, kind of hide our identity for a second. Their intentions are now known. But say you Stomper that I can't play because I'm dumb. Don't worry, no worry. I didn't try to play it. You tried to play it. Could have used our Brotherhood in to kind of be efficient here, like mana efficient, and not taking the damage from this. Fine Forest, that's fine with me. A little part of me wants to play the Stomper and just grab another land, but the 2 lands that we'll get from this invasion is so much better. If we rip a land off the top, it's a Tali time. We grab, I think we just split our picks, right? Actually, we have a lot of red in our hand. We grab 2 mountains. And Koths is more viable of a draw. We had like a really good play, although I do feel as though they kind of have some removal here. I'll land off the top. I guess we'll just hit a Cityscape Leveler here. So everything will be fine. Oh my god, I hit the nuts. Opponent, I would like to invoke Despair you and cast my Cityscape Leveler. Would you like to play the game for any longer? I'll definitely throw this back if I wasn't first and I didn't have this Spite. I'm playing against a lot of aggro and Rakdos, so I think I want to keep. Not being on the draw makes this deck a little bit worse. I'll play second Garden here. But I also still get to kind of play everything else, and it doesn't really matter if I just play a mountain. Keep my Spite up for Tenacious Underdog. Sometimes your guesses are just on point. What do we want to put on the bottom of our library? Battalion. We play 4, so we'll put it on bottom. Good piece of the puzzle here. Oh, yes. Let's go. What a draw for us. Again, grab a mountain for Koth. Always want to get our mountain count high, so it's viable late game. We have the typical plan here. We're going to get to play this Garden Invasion, attack the garden or invasion. Land here, invasion here. We have another Stomper, not necessarily good. Might be pitch fodder here later. Multiplier draws. Attack the invasion. They could block. I really don't care about this invasion that much. I just kind of like to have a wide board state to keep our board protected. Also, technically here, that at 5, 6, 7, that invasion bridges the gap to our cityscape leveler. They do that. I'm all fine with this. I have 5 mountains. I'm going to play the Koth. I'm going to minus on Shieldred. I could have casted Tully, but I want my opponent to stay around. I haven't got to play Koth that much today. Attack here, bonk this, play Stomper, and then we'll follow up with the Tully next turn and probably one-shot our opponent. Stomper. This one, please. Clicking so hard. Let me in. Fable, not gonna be enough, I would imagine. I guess this one shot. We'd have to get a battalion to one shot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pick us up, grab a mountain. 9. Battalion, attack. And that's still not enough. It's all 4. So 5 would hit. Oh no. Alright, opponent. We don't want to play leveler. Oh, we could, I guess. We have 1 mana available, but I want to play Natali. I'll hit another cityscape leveler anyway. Or I'll hit Invasion and Fable, and it won't matter. Fable, I'm playing the busted cards now. Actually, grab Lance. Attack. All out here. All my creatures have Vigilance. So technically, against a Wandering Emperor hand, we're a little bit protected. Traxa will not save you here. Do all you want. But Atraxa would not even be good enough because we have the leveler who cityscapes itself. This hand has clunkiness written all over it, and this hand does as well, but at least our cards, to some degree here, are castable. Cityscape leveler has to go to the bottom. This can be cast on 5, so we keep 5 or sooner, depending on what we draw. Soldiers it is. Good piece of interaction here to pick up. Talia, a little bit worse now, but we could go ahead and play our Jetmir's Garden. That's fine. Obviously, that's our draw for the turn. Our opponent could probably deduce that. Veteran coming down. Attacks. That's all fine and good. We play this. We play Invasion. Make our treasure. Probably pitch the Invasion of Kaldheim. We hit another Invasion of Zendikar. We can't play a second Thalia, which is really sweet, but they can play that card, which is not sweet. I can tell you that much right now. We can't outgrow this card, though. We can outpace it. Done it before, and I'll do it again. We'll cast Brotherhood and we'll clean up the board as best we can. They can attack with this. Probably roughly looking at like 2/1/1s that they're going to make. 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, they just played the same exact cards back out. Now the game's over. Italian's not going to be enough, and we just got absolutely ran over. We're going to maul that. And a little bit on the unplayable side. We'll keep this. We'll garden, play Invasion. Probably have to pitch a Stomper maybe. Or like a really bad draw. Keep messing up Invasion and the Volcanic Spite. Spite actually puts on the bottom of the library where Invasion is an actual discard. So I've definitely put my Cityscape Leveler on the bottom, thinking I was going to put it in the graveyard for me to unearth one time. It's okay. It's only a problem if you think about it too hard. This is all fine. Is Koth going to be good here? I kind of feel like it is to ensure that we hit our mountains. So I think Stomper is going to have to go. We hit another land, so now my decision feels slightly worse, but it's okay. Oh, missing of a land here, and Invasion's coming down. Invasion going to be a little bit better than Koth at this particular spot. Mountain and mountain, I think, is the grab. We need Koth to be able to hit high, assuming this is the Phyrexian deck that plays the boy that prevents all combat damage. Not necessarily fun for us to have to deal with. I can Koth and do whatever, but I can also play Stomper here. Make sure that we hit our land for a Tully and it's in play. Get that plan ready to go. And do I just go ahead and wipe the board here? I think not. I don't think it's worth. Especially if they draw into like more of these. Jace the Perfected Mind. This is definitely a left field play for me. But I'm going to play this one. I'm going to hit a Stomper and your Thalia and Get Rog, which seems pretty good for me. I would like your lands to come in tapped the rest of the game. No attacks. I don't really have to. Not budging. Thalia, if you don't know, because it's a wall of text, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Cool, we want to do that anyway. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. While the Thalia and Get Rog monster attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card. Pretty good for us, considering we are this far ahead. Depopulate. I will draw another card. Thank you. They mill me and they draw. They miss a land again. Wow. What a wombo combo over there for you, opponent. I'm just going to keep playing these until I hit crazy stuff. What about another Atali? We'll hit last Atali, I guess, in the deck. We'll let this one go. We'll keep this one. We get to play Fairy, who flows the Sunset and a Spire. I will hit my handy dandy battle that will now have haste. Koth, you're like, fine, I'll keep a hold of you. Could have kept the rest. We'll get my Awakened Skyclave. Attack with a Skyclave, take out Jace where the Spire wouldn't have been enough to do so. I will use up to one target artifact, creature, and one target land. Untap to show the permanents you control. So I submit nothing. I could have floated a mana here. I actually kind of punted a little bit. Submit 0. The plan was to float a mana with this and then untap it to be able to play this invasion. We actually keep mountains in for when we play Koths, so we have uptick grabs a little bit more available. Don't worry about me, opponent. Everything's fine. Depopulate the board again. We'll eventually play this Koth and use it as the value I need to end the game. Also with Koth, once we start plussing here, we will not be playing the mountains from it because we want to use it as a win condition. I could have just flipped this and won the game. No, I can't. I have to do it next turn. I'm a liar. Don't worry about me. I'm lying. Actually, I could have tapped their creature and attacked with a Tali. What? 3. Can I do that anyway? No. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Needs to be 9. I can do it anyway. Activate ability. Flip. No, yes. Do this. Yo, let's go. Let's go. We got him. 11 infect. I'm gonna go first. My hand sucks. You're gonna stop me from keeping it? Yeah, probably. I just needed a green there. This hand is like equally as bad, if not worse, than the previous hand we had before, and we're playing against soldiers, so if I'm gonna die, I need to go. Oh yeah, I'm definitely dead. Need like forest at this point. Nothing like playing against Thalia, the magic card. Other mountain. Well, opponent, do you just lose to Brotherhood in? I don't imagine that you do, but you could. Could lose to Brotherhood in. What do you want to do? want to attack me? You want to commit more to the board? Veteran, going to hit me hard, but I'm going to be able to wipe the board. That's pretty sweet. Unless they have the counter spell that sometimes Soldiers plays in best of one, which would upset me a ton. Especially because they tanked really long on that decision. Just to maybe counter this here. Nah, it works. Happens. Flash in your thing. Draw land. Do that. Hit me down. Yep. Flash it in. Soldiers is weird because against Soldiers you can actually live at 1, as weirdly as that sounds. I have another Brothers hit in, so I don't hit a land here, which is kind of annoying. It's like the only way we're definitely getting out of here is hitting lands, and any threats that they play is pretty much lethal. Thalia. Can I stop Thalia? I guess I can stop a Thalia. They have indestructible? No, they do not. Been this. Been us. Escape leveler, I guess. We hit a land. Very nice. We play. Oh my god. Are we getting out of this? Are we going to make it, team? Play this. Go grab, like, 2 more forest. Play Stomper. The only problem is if they play a flyer, I'm still dead to that. Hold the line! Oh my god, they're flooding. Let's go! Hold the absolute line. Atali, because they're gonna have a creature on top of their deck that I can't beat. Watch. Remember the flyer I talked about? Oh, this is also the combo. Not necessarily combo, but the battalion's gonna enter, and because Atali cast it, the battalion's going to make 3 4/4s. An absolute eating against Soldiers here. Go ahead and do this, because why not at this point? Awaken Skyclave, come down. Hit a land. Hit a land. Let's go. Dirty Dan. Getting cheesed by me with 2 Brothers hit ends and a dream. I want to keep playing. I just want to keep playing my games because I love this deck so much. It's like so fun for me. But we're going to do a little bit deeper of a dive here on this because I think my intro is going to be shorter. Hopefully I remember to make my intro shorter. How much do I like the deck? A lot, actually. I love these ramp style decks, and I'm really a big fan of Cityscape Leveler and Battalion. And it just got a lot cooler with Atali. So the original plan when we played this deck was that you would basically ramp, and then you would use artifacts to make the extra mana, and you would use so here's the tablet. So we would use the tablet of completion. Basically you would put counters on it, and when it hit 2 would basically be a mana rock for us, but Bank Buster's right there, so how cool is that? But we would use this piece to basically do that, and then if nothing was going on, it would eventually get to enough counters that we would actually be able to just like draw cards with this, and we'd play Bank Buster. But more reasons than one, I did not want to include Bank Buster in this deck, but this card is absolutely broken. It draws cards, it makes a treasure to kind of help you ramp, but it definitely helps bridge the gap on these slower draw hands. But this is one of the cards that is possibly getting banned. So we have a ban coming up in like a week. Reckoner, Bank Buster, and Fable the Mirror Breaker, both that were going to be in this deck, I decided to cut to kind of prepare for the bans. This is definitely the deck I'll be playing if that happens, and probably the deck I'll play off to the side by myself. But what did we want to do with this deck? I wanted to play Atali because Atali is probably my favorite card. I know it's kind of annoying to some degree, but I think the card for the most part is balanced. A lot of strategies can get underneath this. There's a match where soldiers absolutely slams us. They slam us again, but we bring it back at 1 life just because we were able to wipe the board twice. And then they hit a land, which allowed us to set up a turn and then get to the point where we were able to play this. But normally those type of decks will just slam us. But what is so special about Atali? Atali casts whatever card it hits. What's the problem with Cityscape Leveler and Skater Battalion with these prototype cards? When you cheat them into play or do something where like they flip off the top and they get put into play for free, they don't actually make the copies. So for here, when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, I create 2 tokens. But if I just cheat this into play, I don't make any tokens at all. And with Cityscape Leveler, you have to cast this card in order for it to destroy an online permanent. But with Atali, whenever you hit these off the top, the Battalion and Leveler, it actually casts these cards, so you get the benefit from playing these in your deck. So in the last game, when we were playing against soldiers there, we cast a Battalion, and then we put 3 4/4s in play and got to be really aggressive when we just played Atali on our main phase and caused a lot of mayhem that way. Why Gruul? Why Gruul? We played Koth before. I played it a lot. I enjoy Koth. I kind of just play it because it's a win against control. Like, it's a win condition in that matchup where we just keep plussing and grabbing mountains, and then we play them, and then eventually we just start holding the mountains, and then we can hit them for 4 for every single one we play. Also, it's a lot of times an extra piece of removal in this deck. We had it remove a Shieldred from play earlier, which a lot of spells can't get that high, or we need multiple spells to do so. But other pieces, I wanted to play some battles. I haven't played with a whole lot. The only one I've played with is Invasion, and that was with the Pro Tour ramp deck. And I was wondering, wow, this deck's really cool. I like it a lot. It plays Leyline Binding and Ossification, but if you don't really like the whole 5 color, I was like, what's the deck that we can do this in? And I remember when I played Koth and we played it, and there's been multiple variations of the deck, and I was like, what if Gruul just makes this a lot better? And I definitely think it does. The Stomper and Invasion kind of wombo combo with the 2 cards is incredible, especially in this deck, because it all connects to this Atali pretty much. And it also helps us get to the Cityscape Leveler and Battalion sooner, whereas like before we were kind of ramping a little bit late. Like, it was a long time before we got to actually cast these, and then we didn't have another big threat, like, because we didn't have anything in Atali's spot. But these just help us absolutely get there. One more battle that we did play along with some Invasion here. We didn't really get to feature this card that much. This card can probably be replaced. I kind of just did it to see how well it played today. Didn't get to do it. I did it sometimes play testing by myself, but Invasion of this invasion or battle helps us ramp, actually. So on turn 3, we're able to play the Invasion of Zendikar, which is one of the nice things in this deck that we're able to do, because then that ramp allows us to set up multiple turns or multiple things in terms of like playing a Stomper and maybe holding up a Spite, or Brotherhood ending playing a Stomper, or even potentially getting the Atali earlier, and all these other ones like playing a Battalion on the prototype of 5. But this card has actually been good. I put in 2. I hated it. I cut it, and I said I only played a couple games with it, so I left it. I put it back in, played it. It showed out a lot today. Sometimes it's a bad top deck, but it's a 2-mana cycle card. If you have another card in hand that's not good, so do be careful playing out your lands. If you're kind of flooding, you might need something like this to bend. We never really get to flip it, but this other battle, I kind of brought it in for the same, not the same reason we play Invasion of Zendikar, but the fact that it's got 4 power. We have Stomper. Stomper can hit this and flip it immediately, and it's an alternate win condition against like lockout control, where you discard a land, deals 2 damage to any target. Whenever you discard a land, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. The real downside to this card is the fact that when it enters the battlefield, you have to exile your entire hand. If you were able to kind of pick which cards you wanted to exile, I think this card has a lot more playability. But sometimes on turn 4, you just have like 4 or 5 cards in your hand that you want to keep around. So it's a pretty tough sell for me on this one. But when you do get to play it and kind of wheel some like really bad flood hands and get those lands out of your hand, and then you can play the card from the exile, like you play that extra land or whatever from there, It works really well with Koth. These are the Koth and this card are the reasons I play them kind of together. Koth gets us a mountain. We bin it with the invasion or the Pyre of the World Tree on the back. We ping them for 2 or something else for 2 if we need to. And then we just slowly progress Koth up to an ult, and then we start holding the mountains because Koth's ability will do more damage, but invasion can then ping them, and then we kind of use it as a draw source. Brotherhood End is in the deck along with Volcanic Spite to basically be our removal package. You could argue maybe the 5-mana red board wipe. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. 5-mana sorcery. And red. Burn Down the House. You could argue playing Burn Down the House maybe or something else for like this invasion. Maybe playing like a copy of this to kind of pick up extra power on the planeswalkers that we might not be able to remove with the Brotherhood End, and also pick up some Shieldreds along the way. Other than that, this has definitely been probably the most fun I've had playing in Standard. We had an epic flip today with Atali hitting a Cityscape Leveler off the top of our deck after calling it, and an Invoke Despair, which our opponent just picked him up to. Also, I've been bullying Rakdos and Grixis all day with this deck. It's just been like every time I match up against them, if they're not playing Make Disappear and I just get to do whatever I want, I'm just bullying them. Shieldred's not enough to stop us. Invoke Despair can kind of do some damage, but it's not really enough to stop us. They don't have like the early pressure, which is like one of the games I messed up with. I didn't Brotherhood End them because I missed the land. I got greedy, played Stomper, and lost. But if I had just Brotherhood End, I would have bought myself so much time that maybe we would have got there. But I hope you enjoyed the deck. Battle Koth is pretty sweet. I'm definitely probably going to play this more and just upload more, as Standard's kind of in this weird place where I think a lot of people agree it's been pretty stagnant in terms of what decks we're seeing. But hopefully this helps maybe revitalize you want to play Standard, and maybe that you enjoy this deck. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you all appreciate it and have a fantastic day.